Hi everyone and welcome. I'm here today to talk about part 4 of the APTIS reading test. As you know, in this part we are given 7 paragraphs and 8 headings which all together make up an article. We need to match the 7 out of the 8 headings to the 7 paragraphs. We'll have one extra heading. But first, let's start by analyzing how headings and paragraphs are written. Headings are the first introduction to a paragraph. They tell us what the paragraph is about, what the most relevant bit is, what the writer wanted the reader to understand. It's a very short summary of the paragraph. Before I forget, let me give you a tip. If the words used in the headings and the words in the paragraph are exactly the same, that heading will most possibly not be the right heading for that paragraph. Usually, writers use synonyms, so when there's repetition, we will need to double check. I've copied here a collection of headings from different articles for us to have a look at and see how they are made. In general terms, all articles start with an introduction to a topic. So, the first paragraph frequently describes the subject matter of the article. I'm going to give examples for headings for the first paragraph. We'll find words like first, meaning, definition, what do you know about? All these headings show the writer is going to introduce the topic of the article to us. Paragraph 7 is the last paragraph. It will attempt to both summarize the main concepts of the article and usually point to the future. For example, some possible headings for the last paragraph may contain words like next steps, underway, on the way, to do next, forward, future, and future tenses as things to be done, future expectations. So, once we have the headings for the first paragraph and the last paragraph, let's identify all the rest, which goes in the middle. That is to say, the content of the article. And it usually focuses on examples to support an argument, like reasons, or views, or approaches. Others have words indicating possible conflicts, or possible resolutions, like obstacles. Sometimes there's a story, so we need to find the beginning, the conflict, and the end. Here we have changes, that is, before and after an event. Stories about a person are also very frequent in part of the content. So let's recap. First, we need to read all headings and try to identify which might be the first and the last, and which might be the ones in the middle. One of them will be a distractor. Remember, the heading is the summary of the idea in the paragraph. So, we need to read the first paragraph and try to get the general idea by reading the first couple of lines. If that's not enough, we can move on to read the last couple of lines. Once we have the general idea, we should try to find the heading which matches that idea. This way, we'll go on one by one heading at a time, to the last. If we are stuck, not able to choose between two options, we may write the two options down on the piece of paper we are given and then go on to the next paragraph. We can always go back to these ones and check again. Okay, let's try it together. Let's see how it goes. Here's an article about technology in our lives. I've chosen it because it's quite simple and it will allow us to see how to use this technique. Then you can try this technique on the APTIS practice test. So let's go for it. Technology and society. A change driving our lives. Our 8 headings are these: the history of technology and society, mind the drawbacks. Drawbacks means disadvantages or obstacles. Mind the means pay attention to. So pay attention to the disadvantages and obstacles. Mind the drawback. The bottom line. The bottom line is an idiom which points to a conclusion of an argument or discussion. Humans organized. What to be thankful for. Areas in which technology changed our lives. What is technology? How has technology affected human life? Okay, remember, one of these will be the distractor. The extra heading we will not use. So, let's start. First, we need to read the headings and try to identify which ones may go first, which one may go last, and which ones may go in the middle. The title of the article is Technology and Society, a Change Driving Our Lives. So, question as to what is technology? And humans organized most possibly refers to paragraphs defining these two concepts, as technology is mentioned first in the title and society is a way of human organization. So I'll mark these two headings as potentially being the headings for the first paragraph. I'll try to identify now the last heading of the article. I would say the last heading is the bottom line. The bottom line is an idiom which points to a conclusion of an argument or discussion. This can clearly be the conclusion, the ending of the article. The rest of the headings will most possibly go somewhere in the middle. So, steps 1 and 2 are done. Let's go to step 3 and read the first paragraph. I'll read the first couple of lines to get the paragraph general idea, the summary. The first two lines seem to be a clear answer to the question, what is technology? I'll click on the heading, what is technology, for the first paragraph. So, let's go on to the second. Again, I'll read the first couple of lines to get the main idea or message in the paragraph. I see it speaks about human interaction, organized groups, communities, roles, and society. I'll then go over the headings again. I see that humans organized seems to be the best fit because there's no mentioning of history or drawbacks, obstacles, or anything to be thankful for, or any areas of technology, or any talk about how technology affects human life. So, as there's nothing here contradicting my first assumption, which is humans organized, and there's no reason to think this is the distractor, I click on this one to be the heading for the second paragraph, and I'll go on to the third. I'll read the first couple of lines to see if I can get the main idea, the summary. Here we can see some clues. Throughout history, Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, Sumerians. I remember now one of the headings talked about history. Here it is, heading A. Okay, this is clearly talking about history. I'll read all the headings again to quickly check. There's nothing in these two lines pointing to obstacles or drawbacks, nothing to be thankful for, no areas of technology or anything talking about how technology changed our lives. The paragraph talks a little about areas in which technology changed our lives, but heading F doesn't mention history, and the paragraph is just providing examples of these cases, not exploring the different areas where there's been change. So, the paragraph general idea points to history, not to areas where technology has made an impact. Actually, heading F could be the distractor, don't you think? So, I'll assign this history heading to the third paragraph, and I'll go on for now. If later it appears this is wrong, I'll get back to it and think again. Let's go now to our fourth paragraph. I'll read the first couple of lines to get the main idea, the summary. Now I'll read the headings. The first one speaks about drawbacks, obstacles. I can see the word beneficial, so heading B is not right here. Now, the next heading with the letter E talking about what to be thankful for can be correct because we are to be thankful for things which are beneficial in our lives. Now I'll read the other headings to confirm my assumption. Heading F talks about areas in which technology has changed our lives, and in the first two lines I have the word farming and then building and traveling, so I'll need to check. I'll read the last couple of lines to see if maybe this is the right heading for this paragraph. The paragraph uses the words facets of our lives, then a simplified, more effective and quicker version, tech innovations, creating both less and new issues. So there's no mention of any areas of technology. This is describing how the changes affect our lives, which is now simpler, more effective and quicker. So, heading G. How has technology affected human life? Okay, the paragraph talks about daily tasks. Things are simplified, more effective and quicker. Okay, I can't decide now. Both headings seem to be equally correct. I'll mark both headings as possible options and go on to the next paragraph for now. I'll come back to make a decision later. This paragraph talks about how positive technology has been and how it has made life easier. So the other headings talking about drawbacks or obstacles and areas of technology are equally wrote out. They would be equally wrong for the same reason as before. It appears the same two headings, what to be thankful for and how technology affected human life, could be equally correct for paragraph 5 as well as for paragraph 4. I need to decide which goes with which. Heading E, the keyword here, thankful, which has a positive connotation. The keyword for heading G is how technology has affected our lives. So here I go. I'll read both main concepts in each paragraph again, determine which of the words in the two paragraphs are positive and which indicate how technology affects our lives. Beneficial is positive. Daily task, farming and building and traveling mean how. Facet of our lives means how. Simplified, more effective and quicker version, text innovations, issues point to how as well. Let's go on with paragraph 5. Less than desired is not positive or shows how. More upsides is positive. Breakthroughs means advances in technology. This is positive. This is not very clear though, because technology can also mean how. So I'll go on reading. Processes means how. Gifted is positive. Tools needed to foster means how. Every imaginable area is a positive thought. There are more blue how words in paragraph 4 and more green positive words in paragraph 5. But I won't make a decision yet. I'll leave the two headings in these two paragraphs and I'll write them down on a piece of paper. I'll read all paragraph 6 now because things have become a little trickier. So I'll check for every clue everywhere. I can see we have a lot of negative words. So this one is easier. It's heading B. Mind the drawbacks. Drawbacks means obstacles, disadvantages. Good. There's nothing indicating this is a conclusion, a bottom line, and nothing indicating areas of technology. So I'll get the negative impact heading here and move on to the last. Let's have a look at paragraph 7. I'll read the first couple of lines and the last couple of lines, which in this case is the whole paragraph. Here we have the words from the dawn of civilization, which means from the beginning, from the start, and then we see venture into the future. This is of course a concluding paragraph, providing a conclusion and looking into the future. So clearly we were right when we assumed heading C, the bottom line, which means in conclusion, is the right heading for this paragraph, because again, there's no mention of any areas of technology. So heading F, areas of technology, is clearly the distractor. So I'll rule it out. I'll click on heading C for the last paragraph and I'll go back to paragraphs 4 and 5 to try to sort the headings out. Let's see, we have heading E talking about positive impacts and heading G talking about ways in which technology affected human life. We can check to see if the headings indicate some kind of order in the process of writing and structuring of the article. Let's have a look now at the previous and following headings for paragraphs 3 and 6. We've chosen heading A for the previous paragraph, number 3, which talks about history, and heading B, which talks about negative impacts for the following paragraph, number 6. So we can assume the writer wanted to structure the article in this way. First, he wanted to talk about history in paragraph 3, to then move on to talk about how technology has affected human life in paragraph 4, then move on to talk about the positive impacts and effects in paragraph 5, to then talk about the negative impacts in paragraph 6, and then finish with a conclusion in paragraph 7. Okay, this makes sense, is a clear structure. We can also see that we have a lot of blue in the first case, how technology affected human life in paragraph 4, and we have a lot of green in the second case, where we highlighted all the positive words in paragraph 5. So this should confirm our choice for heading G to match paragraph 4 and heading E to match paragraph 5. I think we've done it! Very well then, I hope this technique proves useful to you. If you'd like to practice, follow the link in the description to find 10 APTIS reading texts for APTIS General and 5 APTIS reading tests for APTIS Advanced. Leave your comments below and remember, you can always find me on my website, Facebook or Instagram. All the best to you all. See you next time!